All right, everyone. Here's your Theolog for today. Today I'm going to rant. I know all you love when I rant. And today I'm going to rant about something that I think we can all agree on. And the rant is going to be about theologians. Now, and philosophers, really. So here's my problem. My problem is that theology is great, philosophy is great. It's really important stuff. But one of the things that just destroys me is that no one in these fields tries to make it intelligible or understandable for normal people who do not have the luxury of kind of sitting around all day talking about random things, right? And which drives me even more crazy is these theologians will do all of these impactful things, but rarely do they actually physically help churches, not themselves, but their actual ideas. How much do they actually impact? Um, there are like names in the academy that I learned that are important, but they actually have had no effect on my ministry so far, or my friends' ministries, or I think even the church in general. It's kind of like these things that we just like to talk about. There are some people who fall into both of these camps. I think a good example is Thomas Aquinas. For Thomas Aquinas, even if you don't know him, really smart guy, gave us a lot of really good arguments for things, but mainly spent all of his time inside writing, not actually interacting, which I think is why it should be a requirement for if you're going to teach at a seminary that you have to be a pastor at some point in your life, which unfortunately is not a requirement, but it should be. Anyway, I digress. There's actually a term that is used for this type of thinking, especially as theologians are concerned. And the question is, it was posited by Protestants originally to kind of make fun of Catholic theology, but I think now it's just infected everything, right? And the question is, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, right? And this is a reference to one of Thomas Aquinas' questions where he spends pages trying to answer how many angels can occupy the space at the same time. Now, that might be a fun thing to kind of think about when you're drinking with your friends or something like that. But is it that important of a question that we actually need to spend time and learn it? No. And I think a lot of bad theology has come out of these types of just let's just think about this thing and whether or not this affects anything. And I think rather it's pulled us away, and that's why the Christian early Protestants were so focused on just saying no, what's in the Bible is what we need to focus on when it comes to theology. And as soon as you leave that you start to go off on these really weird tangents. I'm going to do supernatural stuff next week, but like if you like look up angelology, you'll be like, why didn't the church devote more time to something that's more important, thought power to more important things? Another interesting thing that drives me wild with Protestants now is the whole post-millennial, premillennial, amillennial thing. Don't even worry about it. If you're going through Revelation, it's something that's people argue about all the time. I don't care about it at all, really. Don't even care. I can't tell you how little I care, which is why I haven't talked about it in our study. And then we have also dispensationalism or dispensations. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Don't bother looking it up. It's a waste of time. But people still, for whatever reason, insist on talking about it. But here's my thing. So there's all this stuff that's kind of become a waste because people have way too much time on their hands. But the reason it's important to sometimes think about these things and care about theology is because we need to have answers to important questions, right? And theology does good theology when it gives not only pastors and theologians answers, but also lay people answers to things, which is why I think it's important that you guys know the creeds, why I think it's important that you guys know what tulip and reformed theology are. So you guys have answers to maybe some of the questions that you think about and either don't want to ask me for whatever reason or have never thought about, or maybe someone's challenged you on those things. That's why we have the catechisms, right? They answer questions for us. It's supposed to give you an easy response if you memorize them to questions that people have about the faith. So that's my rant. Theologians need to get out in churches more. I will see you guys tomorrow.